What if the power of the US dollar didn't come from the economy alone, but from oil? And what if a single deal in the 1970s quietly forced the entire world to depend on it? To understand this, we need to go back. In 1971, the United States faced a serious problem. For decades, the global financial system ran on something called the gold standard. The dollar was backed by gold, and countries could exchange their dollars for real gold held by the US. But over time, the US started printing more money than it had gold to support. Countries noticed, and they began asking for their gold back. That's when the system started breaking. So in 1971, President Richard Nixon made a historic move. He ended the gold standard. Just like that, the dollar was no longer backed by gold. It became a fiat currency money that has value simply because people believe it does. But this created a new problem. If the dollar wasn't backed by gold anymore, why would the world keep using it? The US needed a new reason, a new system, and that's where oil comes in. In the 1970s, the US made a powerful deal with Saudi Arabia, one of the largest oil producers in the world. The deal was simple. Saudi Arabia would sell oil only in US dollars, and in return, the US would provide military protection, weapons, and political support. Then Saudi Arabia helped bring other oil-producing nations, especially within OPEC, into the same system. Very quickly, this became the global standard. Oil, the most important resource in the world, could only be bought using US dollars. This created what we now call the petrodollar system, and its impact was massive. Because every country needs oil, it powers transportation, industry, electricity, almost everything. So if you're a country like Japan, Germany, or India, you don't just need oil, you need dollars first. That means earning dollars through trade, or buying them in global markets. As a result, countries around the world started holding large reserves of US dollars. They traded in dollars, saved in dollars, even priced goods in dollars. This created constant global demand for the US currency, and that gave the United States a huge advantage. Because when the world needs your currency, you can print more of it without the same risks others face. You can run large deficits, build massive debt, and still maintain trust. In a way, the US wasn't just printing money, it was exporting it to the entire world. But now, this system is starting to shift. In recent years, countries like China and Russia have been trying to reduce their dependence on the dollar. They're making deals in their own currencies. China is pushing oil trade in the yuan. Russia has already moved parts of its energy trade away from the dollar, especially after sanctions. Even Saudi Arabia, the foundation of this system, has started accepting other currencies in some deals. So why is this happening? Because the dollar isn't just money. It's control. When countries rely on the dollar, the US gains influence over their financial systems. It can freeze assets, block transactions, and impose sanctions that can hit entire economies. We've seen it happen multiple times. So now, countries want alternatives, more independence, less exposure. And if this trend continues, global demand for the dollar could slowly decline. And that would change everything. Less demand means less freedom to print, more pressure on the US economy, and a shift in global financial power. This doesn't mean the dollar will collapse overnight. The US still has the largest economy, strong institutions, deep financial markets, but the system that gave it unmatched dominance is no longer untouchable. The petrodollar system connected oil, money, and global power into one structure, and for decades it worked. But now, for the first time in a long time, that system is beginning to change. Because in the end, the dollar was never just currency, it was power, and that power started with oil.